Joe Budden warns his co-host not to be cool with his ops.
I don't know if my stance yesterday on that is going to be my stance tomorrow.
With the
Well, people being cool with people that you're not cool with?
Yeah. Sensitive subject.
Yeah, he did say that.
Please
Okay.
leave me out of your conversation.
I'm the person up here, if anything, who's always been vocal about being cool with whoever, no matter who it affected.
That is starting to become a sensitive subject for me. I pass. Yeah, that whole, I'm not resolved yet, dear.
Yeah, on the last episode of the Joe Budden podcast, Joe Budden seemed to send a firm warning to the rest of his cast, warning them that he doesn't know if he's comfortable with them being cool with his ops. And this happened on the heels of a conversation that Imani and Flip apparently had off air, where Flip told Imani that he'd be cool with people behind the scenes. Now, I think this is in regards to the recent space that happened between Rocky and Joe Budden.
You was a thorough fucking bum, and I was a friend to your bum ass.
And now it's over. It's over.
That's fine, so stop coming in rooms where I'm at addressing me.
Joe Budden's face.
Hey, Joe Budden's face.
Rocky and Joe really got into it, with a lot of history being exposed. History that could be detrimental to Joe's brand. And as a result, Imani was neutral throughout that whole space. And I believe that Flip observed that and may have told Imani that wasn't cool. Plus, it's also important to remember that the rest of the cast is very cool with a lot of so-called ops of Joe Budden, particularly Ish, who is always doing podcasts with Mandy. I mean, this guy has done 4 episodes with Mandy, and Mandy is an op. I know she appears friendly. I know they probably are cool, but in a recent episode, Joe told Ish, Mandy is putting stuff in your ear about your contract and so what and so on. And Mandy does do that. She does try to highlight how Joe Budden probably isn't paying the rest of the cast well. So she is a big op for the show. On top of that, Mandy is also cool with other members of the podcast, Imani, Ice, where they hang out and go to parties all the time. Furthermore, Rory and Imani are cool, and I think Joe is just like, what the hell is going on? This is not how you should be treating this. Like, usually, if your boss is not cool with somebody, especially in a podcast setting where it's more of a chemistry thing, you see a lot of people distance themselves. But I think what's happening with this cast is they know that Joe is capable of getting back cool with people, so they don't want to not be friends with somebody and then all of a sudden everybody's cool and the person that Joe was beefing with hates them. But we will have to see how this plays out, because Joe is a bit hypocritical. He is notorious for being friends with the ops of other people. Remember that whole Mouse Jones Rory situation? It was Joe who escalated that whole thing. Mouse Jones walked on the elevator and Joe was acting all chummy with Mouse and said that, oh, don't worry, Rory's not gonna hit you, Mouse. And that led to that whole escalation. Then there was the academics, Rory and Maul beef. Joe was cool with academics. He was doing Instagram lives, talking about how much he respects him, all while he was violating Rory and Maul. Well, specifically Rory, talking about how his home life was messed up and all of this jazz. So it is something we have to focus on. And I think Joe, he probably listened back to that space he did with Rocky and was like, man, I really played myself. I think he shouldn't have went into the space. I think he has to leave spaces alone, especially ones that are chaotic and that he can't control. Like the JBTV spaces, that is strategically a fan club space. If something bad happens, they are not gonna let it persist. They are very invested in maintaining the relationships of the Joe Budden podcast, because I largely believe if they lose that relationship, they will no longer be a relevant space in terms of just garnering attention, getting people to join their community. So they make that exchange. But spaces like the one I host, members of WeWorks hosting, I don't know. I think it'd probably be best for Joe to just, when he gets there, especially with Rocky, just keep it cool. Because he came in. I think what it is Joe likes that. Even though it's bad for him, he likes engaging in conversation where things can go left. He loves that unpredictability that he doesn't get from podcasting. Podcasting is probably bland to him, and the conversation on Spaces is where he gets to have fun with people. He gets to try to see how he gets a rise out of folks. But it's eventually going to backfire, and that's what happened here. Now, how will the rest of the cast react? I think they have to take heed to this. I don't.
What I like, then I go out and get it. I make changes, that's why I'm different. I see it before it happens, that's vision. Telling myself I